Further, the tongue pushes the chewed food into the short muscular tube called the pharynx. From there, the food goes into the long narrow muscular tube called the food pipe or esophagus. This esophagus is a muscular tube extending from the pharynx to the stomach. Okay, when the slightly digested food enters the food pipe or say esophagus, the walls of the esophagus start contracting and expanding to push the food down into the stomach. Okay, now this pushing down of stomach by the walls of the esophagus in a wave like action is called peristalsis. Okay, so digestion of food does not take place in esophagus, but the food from the mouth or say with the help of the tongue is being pushed into the stomach. So from esophagus, the food is being pushed into the stomach now. Talking about stomach, it is a J-shaped bag-like structure which acts as a mixer or grinder, you can say. Thick walled organ present on the left side of the abdomen. The food we eat stay there for few minutes or to few hours depending upon the type of food that we eat. Further, if you talk about it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. The inner wall of the stomach contains gastric glands. These glands secrete gastric or digestive juices which contain three substances here. Hydrochloric acid, you have the pepsin and the mucus. So talking about hydrochloric acid, it kills many harmful bacteria that enters with the food. It makes the medium in the stomach acidic, which enhances the action of digestive enzymes. Okay, it also converts the it also activates pepsin. Further, the mucus which is being secreted by the inner walls protect the inner lining of the stomach from the action of the enzymes and acid. And in this acidic medium, pepsin digests the proteins in the food to form simple soluble substance called peptones. Consequently, the food gets converted into partially digested semi-solid food called chyme. The chyme leaves the stomach and enters the small intestine. Now, the small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal. It is about 7.5 meters long and arranged in the form of a coil. Okay, so the muscles of small intestine mixes the food with the digestive juices and secrete some juices of their own, which helps in further digestion. Further, this small intestine receives secretion from two glands, that is the liver and the pancreas, through a common duct. So the wall of small intestine also secretes digestive juices called intestinal juice. Here the partially digested food gets mixed with pancreatic juice, bile juice and intestinal juice. Okay, so process of digestion gets completed in the small intestine. Let's talk about the three accessory organs which play a vital role in helping the stomach and small intestine to digest the food. The first one is the pancreas, which is a large cream colored gland located just below the stomach. It secretes pancreatic juice and releases it into the small intestine. The pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrates, proteins and changes them to simpler form. It do act on fats. The next one is liver. Now this liver is a reddish brown gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. It is the largest gland in the body. It secretes bile juices, which is stored in the sac called the gallbladder, which is located near the liver. Okay, talking about these bile juices, it helps in the digestion of fats. So fats are present as big droplets in the food, because of which they cannot be digested easily. So bile juices breaks this big droplets into small droplets and makes their digestion and absorption easier. And the third one is the gallbladder. As I told you, that it stores the bile juices here. One more thing is that we do have the intestinal juices secreted by the small intestine. So the partly digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestine, where digestion, which starts in the mouth, is completed in small intestine. The enzymes in the intestinal juices act upon the partial digested food and converts it into simple soluble substances. The process of absorption occurs in small intestine again. The inner wall of the small intestine has millions of finger-like projections or folds called villi. A singular form is villus. Each villus has a network of thin and small blood vessels called capillaries close to its surfaces. This villi give the inner wall of the small intestine a very large surface area for the absorption of digested food. The surface of villi absorbs the digested food materials and passes them to the fine blood capillaries. The absorbed food is carried to all the cells of the body by blood. This food is utilized by cells to release energy, which is nothing but the assimilation process. So the blood carries the absorbed food from the small intestine to different organs of the body, where it is used to build complex substance such as proteins required by the body for the growth and repair of body tissues. Now this final stage in the process of digestion is nothing but assimilation process. The last step is egestion, where the food that remained undigested and unabsorbed passes from the small intestine into the large intestine, which is wider and shorter than the small intestine. It is about 1.5 meter in length. So large intestine has two parts, colon and rectum. So colon absorbs water and some salts from the undigested food. Due to this, the undigested food becomes dry and almost semi-solid. This is known as feces, and further it is being stored in the rectum. This feces is passed out of the body through the anus, and this process of removing the waste, that is the undigested food, through anus is called as the egestion process.